In my job as a journalist, interviewing people across everything from politics to sport and showbiz, it is clear that more and more people are putting up their hands to talk about mental health. The job that I do as a journalist, I always think, is about boiling down a story to the simplest elements so that you can cut through. Why is it important? Why are we telling it? What impact might it have on people's lives? Why should somebody care? And then also, obviously, you'll have the people who do already know a lot of information, and it's kind of making sure that you address the broader issues around a subject as well. So you're sort of trying to straddle those two things. I think the job of a journalist is sort of being able just to assimilate that, take in the important information and just try to tell the story as clearly as you can. So when I host a conference, I think that the same skills come into play, because sometimes it might be quite a technical conference about something, for instance, a sort of technical aspect of insurance that I'm not particularly up to speed with, but I do my research in the same way that I research any other story, get to grips with exactly what it's about, and then try to sort of work through the narrative and always try to bring out the best in everybody that you're speaking to. And I think that the key part of that is really listening. When I was a journalist at the beginning, I was always thinking mostly about my questions and what I was going to say next, and I think that actually you forget that. You listen to what someone's saying and everything flows from there. And I sort of see my role as the linchpin, the go-between, the person on the stage is there to communicate with the audience, and I'm effectively the sort of bridge between those two ends of things. Yes, sometimes it can feel a little bit uncomfortable if you're interviewing someone about something very personal. Mental health is not something that is sort of an issue that's sort of off agenda. Sport in particular, I've interviewed a lot of sports people where it's about, obviously it's an area where people need to have that real mental focus, and there are a lot of sports people who have been very open about mental health issues. So it does seem to increasingly be something that just cuts through in that sort of human touchstone element of interviews, and people are just getting better at talking about it. And I think it's been quite interesting hearing Princes William and Harry talking about their issues. You can forget their privileged background. They're reflecting real life. We all know our experiences shape us. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your experiences are. No one is immune from being affected by what is going on around them. I always feel like it's a real privilege with being a journalist that you get to interview the most extraordinary people, whether it's somebody who has achieved something that has been acknowledged by all of us because it's something very high profile or visible, but also people who have been through perhaps something that nobody knows about, but they want to talk about it, and we can all learn from them. But just always really trying to bring out the best in everybody that you're speaking to, and get the most out of them in terms of what they know.